fates, weavers of destiny, held sway over mortal lives. Clotho the spinner drew forth the threads of existence. Lachesis the allotter measured out each span of life, and Atropos the inflexible held the shears that severed destinies with a final irrevocable cut. In the heart of Calydon, under the rule of King Oeneus, a cry pierced the air. A prince was born, Meleager his name. But where rejoicing should have echoed through the halls, a hush fell, for the fates had marked this child's arrival with a stark and solemn decree. They placed a burning log upon the hearth, its smoldering light a reflection of a life bound to its fragile flame. This log, their ancient voices rasped, is the measure of Meleager's days. As long as it burns, so shall his spirit walk this earth. Young Meleager grew with the strength of a lion and the heart of a hunter. Tales of his prowess echoed through the forests, his spear swift and true against the beasts that roamed the wilds. Yet the shadow of the burning log ever lingered, a constant reminder of the fate's grim prophecy. King Oeneus, flush with the year's bountiful harvest, held a grand festival to honor the gods. Yet, in his pride, he overlooked Artemis, the fierce mistress of the hunt, patroness of the very lands that had yielded such plenty. Though sacrifices were offered to other Olympians, her altar remained cold and neglected. Insulted, Artemis's wrath was swift and terrible. Upon Calydon, she unleashed a monstrous boar, its eyes burning coals, its tusks like daggers tearing into the very land. Fields turned barren under its hooves, men fell before its rage, and the kingdom trembled in despair. Word of the scourge reached the far corners of Greece, and heroes answered the desperate call. Stalwart Jason, leader of the Argonauts, arrived with his famed crew. The mighty Theseus, slayer of the Minotaur, strode forth, and with them a huntress swift as an arrow, Atalanta, her eyes blazing with the thrill of the chase. Meleager, his heart ablaze with both valor and the haunting echo of the prophecy, stood at their head. The confrontation was a clash of titans. The enraged boar churned the forests, its fury a tempest against the hunter's skill. Spears shattered upon its hide, men were wounded and tossed aside, but amidst the chaos, Atalanta struck true, her arrow biting deep into the beast's thick skin. Seizing the moment, Meleager, consumed by a warrior's fire, charged forth. With a mighty thrust, his spear pierced the monstrous heart, extinguishing its rampage in a final roar that shook the land. Calydon erupted in cheers as Meleager emerged from the forest, the monstrous boar slung across his shoulders. But amidst the joyous throng, a dark seed of resentment began to sprout in the hearts of Meleager's uncles, Plexippus and Toxius. They felt overshadowed by his singular feat and further angered when Meleager chose to award the boar's hide, a coveted prize, to the huntress Atalanta. Their envy turned to open hostility, sneers replacing praise. "A mere woman, what use has she for such a hide?" scoffed Plexippus. Meleager defended his decision, but their argument quickly escalated. In the chaotic struggle, a blow meant for one brother struck the other. Toxius crumpled to the ground, a mortal wound blooming on his chest. The sight of his brother slain snapped Plexippus from his frenzy, but before he could react, Meleager struck him down, yet the bloodshed was not yet over. Iphicles and Eurypylus, warriors within the hunting party, saw Atalanta standing nearby and spewed insults and threats at the huntress. Meleager would not suffer this dishonor and charged at them, his spear cutting them down in a flash of protective fury. News of the tragedy reached Althea, Meleager's mother and sister to the slain men. Grief turned to monstrous rage. She remembered the burning log and snatched it from its resting place, casting it onto the fire. As the last embers crumbled to ash, Meleager fell, succumbing to fate's cruel hand, a mother's agonizing grief, and his own impulsive actions. Thus, the tale of Meleager ends not with the cheers of a crowd, but with the chilling silence of a life cut short. He was a hero, yet fell prey to the same flaws that plague all mortals: pride, wrath, and the desperate struggle against the inevitable. His story is a poignant reminder that even the strongest among us are but fleeting players upon a stage set by the unyielding hands of fate.